I am TurboTim from TurboTim's Anything Automotive. And for years, I've felt like I've always had a calling to do YouTube. Uh, and I've just always liked YouTube. And, I own four shops now. And I think we've done a lot of good things over the years. And I just wanted to share all the cool stuff we've done over the years. Because I have this business, and it's been pretty successful. It's had its ups and downs, but if someone like me can do it, I feel like anyone can do it. I have learned so much just from being in coaching groups and learning from other people. And so I kind of wanted to just start filming videos and show what I did to make it a success. I also kind of wanted to I just wanted to share all these cool cars I've built, because I've built a lot of cool cars over the years. And that's kind of why my name came to be Turbo Tim's. But yeah, I started the shop back in 2007, started it out of a two-bay shop, really small. We called it the Zoo. It was in southeast Minneapolis, kind of in the old Kemp's building. It's actually been leveled now, and there's condos there. But yeah, that's where it all started. So I was there for 3 years. Kind of, when I opened the shop, I was like, oh, this will be easy. I'll just start a shop. You just collect money, and you just fix cars and collect money, and that's that simple. And it took many years to actually figure out how much more there really is to that. In those first 3 years, I didn't start the shop with any debt. I was always in auto tech, but I'm basically unemployable. So I've gotten fired from many jobs I've had. But I got fired from one job just because whatever, it doesn't matter. I had to go pick someone up, and they didn't want to give me the time off. I had to pick up an ex-girlfriend, and they didn't want to give me the time off, so I just left. But then I decided, hey, maybe I should do real estate for a while. And I sold real estate, and I just happened to sell one house, and I got my commission check, which probably wasn't much, a couple $1,000s. And I just took the leap, and I got, my first place to rent. And I was paying $2,000 a month. It had one hoist. And it was just kind of a place for me and friends to work on our own stuff and have a place to work on our own stuff, but at the same time, fix cars. And so I did that for a few years. Everything worked great. No, everything did not work great. I always struggled to pay the lease payment. My first job was at Lexus in Maplewood, and I was making pretty good money. And I always kind of lived on that lifestyle. And when you open a business, you think, oh, I can pay this $2,000 a month rent, and that'll be easy. And you forget about oh, you have to pay yourself, and you have to pay all your expenses. And back then I probably didn't have much. Identifix and Mitchell at the time for shop management software. But I did that for a few years, and I got a few credit cards, and I remember being 30 grand in debt, which right now just sounds silly to be only 30 grand in debt, but 30 grand in debt, and just suicidal, wondering if I should give up, because I had maxed out my cards, my business loans or business credit cards, and I was just hovering on that amount. Just, the struggle of that was enough to make me either work harder. I don't even know if I charged. I mean, maybe I debatably charged more when I was stressed. But always, undercharging. I'm sure Yeah, I think I probably had a $65 labor rate back then. Um, but yeah, so I started getting employees, and I actually had to, I wasn't, I'd have to pay them before me, and that was stressful, and I got behind in payroll, and it's just, running a business is hard. But I was there in I eventually got two hoists in that shop, and I was there for 3 years, and then I moved to a bigger shop. I think the lease payment was $3,000 for that. Um, and I ended up just kept getting more and more hoists in there. And I think eventually we had 9 hoists in there. I got, I think 4 or 5 employees. Um, and we just kind of did our thing, and started making a little bit more money. But honestly, we made probably 2 or 3 million before I had ever had any savings, and it was just not knowing what to charge and trying to be fair, or what I thought was fair, but was really just screwing myself over and my people who I had working with me. And yeah, somehow we ended up joining Elite, which was a coaching group, and that helped me really figure out my numbers. Ron Haugen, who was my first coach, really helped me figure out my numbers and try to get them to where we are. And once we started getting our numbers, then we actually started finally like saving a little bit of money, and that helped us buy our third location we moved into, not third location, but our third business building we moved into, and it was an old warehouse. It had been abandoned for years, and we moved into that building, and it was super cool and big. And I thought, we're never going to fill this building up, because it was 16,000 square feet. So, we were riding go-karts on the inside of it. It was so big at one point. But, yeah, now that shop, it's just filled, and the parking lot is overfilled, and we're just busting at the seams trying to keep up with cars. But, yeah, so that's how I did it. And so basically, like, I want to start this channel to kind of talk about, like, running a shop and what it's like. And I want to talk about our brand, because we have a really cool brand. Like, all of our shops have cats. And I'm like a super visionary ADD kind of guy, and I got a lot of great ideas. And I just want to talk about like kind of what worked for us. So yeah, so this will be my first video. We'll kind of make more videos if you guys want to know specific things about how the shop operates. I'll try to make videos. The next videos I'm going to make is kind of just touring each of the shops. I'll maybe show some of the cars that I have and that I work on, and kind of show some of my team. I'd like to just talk about, all business stuff. Like, we operate on EOS now, or a form of EOS. We kind of probably don't do it perfect, but we do our best. That's entrepreneurial operating system. I think, or is it enterprise? But no, I think it's actually. But yeah, and currently I'm in Transformers. That's another coaching group. I'm also in Strategic Coach, which is a non-industry coaching group. And yeah, so I'll keep filming videos, and let me know what you want to know. And I just want to get it out there and just kind of share just what I've done, because I do think I've had a cool life. It's been very full of purpose, and so that's been great for me. But yeah, thanks.